On iBrand News, train collides with truck in Iju-Shaga axis of Lagos State. Zimbabwe receives first batch of COVID-19 vaccines. Thanks for joining us on iBrand News now, and here are the stories making headlines at this hour. I am Bennett Joseph. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has ordered the immediate deployment of 4 units of riot policemen to address violence in parts of Oyo State. The intervention and stabilization forces also include the Force Intelligence Bureau operatives and 1 surveillance helicopter from the Police Air Wing Department. Police spokesman Frank Mba, in a statement on Monday titled Oyo Crisis, IGP deploys intervention and stabilization forces, said the operatives would reclaim the public space, reinforce security, and bolster public confidence in the areas affected by the crisis. Meanwhile, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has condemned the mayhem that occurred at the Shasha market in Ibadan, Oyo State. While reacting to the unfortunate incident, he cautioned that the criminal acts should be treated according to the tenets of the law and not as ethnic conflicts. He emphasized that every Nigerian has a constitutional right to live, work, and enjoy their lives in safety, peace, and under the law. The suspected members of the Yoruba and Hausa communities in Shasha had clashed on Friday, leading to the death of a cobbler identified as Shakiruddin Adeola and the destruction of properties worth millions of naira. In the same vein, Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State and his Ondo State counterpart, Rotimi Akeredolu, have also called for peaceful coexistence between the Hausa community and their Yoruba hosts. During the visit to the crisis-ridden Shasha community in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, the governors advised the warring parties to stop taking laws into their hands. Akeredolu, who doubles as the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, was led to the Shasha market by the Oyo State governor. Governor Makinde, however, promised to give palliatives to those whose wares were destroyed during the crisis, saying that the two factions should eschew violence and allow peace to reign. Meanwhile, in Lagos, a BRT bus from Ikorodu Terminal en route TBS Terminal, Lagos Island, went up in flames earlier today at the Idiroko bus stop by Anthony bus stop. According to a statement by the National Emergency Management Agency, the bus was conveying 45 passengers when the incident occurred. All passengers were rescued unhurt by the officials of the National Emergency Management Agency, the Police Disaster Management Unit, and the Fire Service. And still in Lagos, residents of Iju-Shaga, Lagos State, were thrown into pandemonium on Monday during an accident involving a train and truck at Fagba of Iju-Shaga, Lagos. According to eyewitnesses, the train was on motion when the articulated truck laden with animal feeds and foodstuff collided with it. Eyewitnesses' account said a tricyclist escaped unhurt, but his tricycle was not that lucky as it was crushed beyond recognition. The General Manager, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, Dr. Olufemi Oke Oshoyin-Tolu, who confirmed the incident, revealed that reckless driving led to the truck crashing into the train on motion. A disc jockey, Blessed Michael, is to spend 6 months in prison for cloning the Facebook account of a former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Toka Boratai, and Maria Dangote, daughter of industrialist Aliko Dangote, and using the false identities to solicit money from unsuspecting victims under various guise. The convict, who was prosecuted before Justice Mohammed Tukur of the Kaduna State High Court, Kaduna, on 1 count amended charge bordering on cheating by impersonation, employed the cloned Facebook account of the retired Army Chief in soliciting from persons seeking enlistment into the Army. In the same vein, he left a telephone number in the cloned Facebook account of Dangote's daughter, which he invited prospective victims to call to claim a certain amount of money. Victims of the scam alerted the commission, leading to the arrest of the fraudster by operatives of the Kaduna Zonal Office of the EFCC. And on the Africa scene, Zimbabwe on Monday received its first batch of COVID-19 vaccines. President Emerson Mnangagwa made this known via his official Twitter handle as he shared photos of a cargo plane with COVID-19 vaccines. He also announced the country will start COVID-19 vaccination this week. On the foreign scene, Myanmar's military says anti-coup protesters across the country could face up to 20 years in prison if they obstruct the armed forces. The military authorities intend to enforce long sentences and fines for those found to incite hatred or contempt towards the coup leaders. The legal changes were announced as armored vehicles appeared on the streets of several cities. In recent days, Myanmar has been characterized by a series of protests. The demonstrators are demanding the release from detention of their elected leaders, including Aung San Suu Kyi, and the restoration of democracy in the country. And that wraps it up on News Now at this hour on iBrandTV. For more news stories, do visit our website, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and follow all of our social media platforms. I am Bennett Joseph.